Yo, what's poppin' on, guys? It's your boy Offline Nuzlocke, and welcome to the GWA draft analysis. Yeah, I'm doing two draft leagues at the same time. Probably a great idea. But I'm not alone today. We got the boy Meta in the front office. Shout out to Meta, Splim, John, Dorian, all the folks in the front office helped me draft this team. But what's poppin', Meta? How you doing, bro?
And why am I doing another draft analysis?
It's crazy. You made me do this. You made me join two leagues, so it's on you.
No, hey, this is not my fault. But guess what? You're gonna win both of them, so it's free.
That's debatable, but anyways, to give some perspective on GWA, we have 16 coaches this time around, so that's fun. And you know what's great? Middle curse. It's again.
Let's go.
I was picked 11 out of 16. So what happened was we did a marble race on Dreez's channel. I got basically not an okay place in that race. So what happened is, like, the first place could choose whatever spot they wanted to draft in. So like they could pick first, they could pick 16th or whatnot. I was on the tail end of that race, so we ended up picking up 11th. We had the choice between 11th and 8th, and we thought 11th would be a little bit better to be closer to that, you know, the
Back end.
back end,
Back wheel.
sure, but yeah, around the wheel. That's what I was looking for. But it's not that close to the wheel, but it helps us out just a little bit to be closer to that wheel. So, things like Iron Valley and Dragapult, like, they're never making it to me. I was optimistic in wanting Meowscarada, but that was just my naiveness, I would say, because Pup took it round 4. So yeah, Meowscarada dreams were dead. By the time it got to me, I was like Palafin maybe, but that went 2 picks before me. Then I was like, all right, I'm inting. I'm gonna take Spectrier. Went literally a pick before me. So here we are with the real team that I'm not inting. And shout out to Meta once again for helping me draft, and Adorian and the entire front office, because you guys are goated. I don't know what I would do without you. I would literally cope without you guys. But yeah, we have round 1 Goldango. I'll let Meta speak about the actual schematics about the team, because they have been putting a lot more work than me into making this. But Goldango was something that was in the ideation phase for round 2 if we got somewhere close to the wheel. But it's also a good Pokemon that you can build around. The Good as Gold ability is really good in Draft League. It's probably one of the best abilities out there in terms of stopping status, removal. It's a great spin blocker. I think it's the best spin blocker in the game. So it was something that we were gonna build around, but we weren't sure if that was our round 1 pick. But by the time it got to my pick, there was basically nothing that I wanted more, and Goldango looked like a good mon to build around. So we picked round 1 Goldango, and I'll let Meta talk about some of the things that the idea is behind it.
Yeah, I mean, Goldango is a good one, right? I mean, granted, it's not typical of a round 1 Pokemon that you may see, but with 16 coaches and the top board, there's only so many Pokemon. They were all picked, right? Everything was picked, so it was just 17 pointers and below by the time we got to Offline's pick. Goldango is just very flexible. Like good as gold, like Offline said, but really just a lot of different sets it runs. Nasty plot sets. Voice variants, can be bulky with resist berry. Recover, T-wave. And the main thing being that it really is flexible with whatever else we want to pick up, right? There's a lot of different things we can pick up. So even if we get sniped on one thing, pretty much anything on the top board can fit with Goldengo, right? So that was kind of the idea there.
Yeah, and we were looking at this in terms of like the round two picks, and there were some ideas floating around, but basically like 80% of the picks that would come back to me would be a good pairing with Goldango, and we didn't think Goldango was gonna make it back to us in round two anyways. And nothing that was like surprisingly like a round one pick was on that board by the time it got to me. So I think Kohei, you know, the anime man, the Goldango, is here. Hopefully it can prove its worth as a round one pick, but yeah, round two, we end up grabbing Chisa the Garchomp. I'll let Meta talk about Garchomp here because he really did convince me to grab it round two.
Yeah, honestly, when I looked at the board and I saw Chomp at 16 points, lower than like a lot of these top tiers, that felt really cheap because, in Gen 9, like on this board, by the way, like Chomp's lower than stuff like Goldango and Cinderace, right? And like all that, when normally it would either be like tied or even above. I was like, Chomp's pretty good, right? Roaring Moon was also like an option to look at. Roaring Moon plus gold. But Chomp felt good, right? It also felt very flexible on this team. Lots of different things you can do with it, right? It gives you a rocker and a spiker paired with Goldango, which is one of the best, hazard blockers, spin blockers, removal blockers in the game. Strong, good ground type, can run offensive sets, physical, special, gets phasing with Dragon Tail, rough skin to deal with like physical contact moves. It's just, yeah, very flexible. A lot of stuff you can do with it, and it pairs really well with Goldango as well.
Yeah, and we were really talking about Moon or Garchomp for a long time, but like even though Moon has the speed, it really lacks in terms of power output. So really didn't feel like going Moon there. So we ended up on Garchomp, and like Garchomp is something I've used multiple times in the past, even though like I haven't drafted it. Whenever I pick up teams in the backup, I usually see Garchomp left on the draft board, and it provides a lot of value for where it's at in this league. So I think I'm pretty excited. This kind of looks like Maki's team that 6-0'd me like week one of the season I played last in. But it's not gonna be. Spoilers. Because round three, we ended up picking Weavile. Iori the Weavile is our round three pick, and the idea behind this is Weavile is the speed. I needed speed, and there was barely any options left for speed. So we picked up Weavile.
And I mean, yeah, could have grabbed like a lower tier, like Hope speed option. Weavile was one of probably the best speed option left on the board, and it fits really well on this team as well.
Yeah, like Chomp plus Goldango plus Weavile is a decent core, especially like trying to build with 16 coaches. There were snipes happening left and right, so us trying to build in that war zone was definitely a challenge. I have not done a draft league with that many coaches, and snipes were happening a lot. Obviously, the optimal Pokemon that we wanted were never making it to us, but Weavile like made it really well. Like it made it back to us. Nobody looked at it, and we were able to snag it because like sure there's Iron Bundle on the board, but it didn't really fit the idea of what I was going for. So we're like, all right, let's go with Weavile. It's speed. It works. Things like Spec, Dragon Pull, like it can just if it needs to revenge it, it can come in and revenge it. So it's pretty decent in that regard.
It also gives a good breaker on the team. Yes, Goldango and Garchomp can both function as breakers, but Weavile is a very good soul breaker, right? It's good stabs and knock and triple axle, ice shard if it needs priority, and can set up with like sword stance as well, potentially.
Yeah.
And with it paired next to Goldango, you could take like fighting and fairy moves aimed at Weavile. It just felt like it fit pretty good here.
Yeah. Up next on that wheel, we ended up grabbing a Rotom Wash. This is by the time that a lot of high tiers were picked and people were starting to move over to the lower tiers. And this is the Mon that we thought we should secure before it goes away. Um, Rotom Wash is not washed. It washes.
Hmm.
That's what it does. It's a great levitate Pokemon. Has multiple utilities. It fits really well with this team, especially because you are gonna try and EQ spam with Goldango and maybe Garchomp because you don't want to make contact. And Rotom Wash doesn't really care about it. It provides screen support on the weeks I need it. It can be bulky in whatever defenses I need it to be, and Pain Split is really good if I really need to get some recovery back somehow for a little bit more of a longevity. It's just a Mon that functions pretty well on this team, especially with the pivoting that it supports, like Volt, Volt Switch. I don't think it got U-turn. I don't think it
Yeah,
does.
just Volt Switch.
Just Volt Switch, but it's still pretty good in that regards because um, yeah, it works well. So we ended up grabbing that, and I've used it in the past as a defensive core, so you'll see why we grabbed it again.
And we're also trying to build this, like, we have three strong, top three. We need some pivots, right? Some good, strong pivots. Rotom Wash gives a nice bulky pivot, right? And a really good bulky option, like support option as well. Willow and Pain Split as well, etc. And Rotom Wash is actually a solid Mon in Gen 9, contrary to popular belief.
Yeah. All right, moving on. It was time for picking up the Tera captains. So my idea was to pick up Tera Meloetta at some point alongside with Tera Torn here, as you see on the screen. But crap, snipes me once again for the Tera captain that I really wanted. So thank you, crap. We ended up pivoting to Tera Torn. I
And
mean, Tera Torn was one of the better Tera captains that we were looking at picking anyways. It is pretty good with the flying stab from Acrobatics Bleak Wind. Terra Blast can be literally any Terra that I so to choose. I think I'm picking Terra. Remind me if I'm wrong.
flying, fighting, and ground.
Yeah, flying, fighting, and ground. It fit pretty well. So those Terra Blasts are really good, and it's another U-turn mon that can help pivot the threats if I need it to be. But Torn, a lot of people might look over this Pokemon and say, I don't see the vision. I have a vision. And you'll just have to wait to find out what happens with Terra Torn.
Genuinely, when looking at this board, Torn is probably easily at least a top 5 or top 10 Terracat, right?
Yeah.
Similar to like Flying Spin. In regular Powdex, right? Terra Tornadus Therian, you might see as a top, like one of the top Terra captains. And one of the big reasons is that Flying Spam is good into a lot of drafts. So now Tornadus Eye, in fact, has a higher special attack and attack stat than Tornadus Therian. Is 111 speed stat, outpaces the 110s, which is really good. So like, and with like Chomp, Torn really likes to have hazards on the opponent's side, and it can just clean games.
Yeah, and this is like middle tier Terra-ish, like lowish middle. Like Gallade, Gardevoir, Arcanine are like some of the good Terra captains that you can pick up. And I think Torn is really on that level if used properly. So I'm gonna try and use my vision to see if that works. And I think we have a team built around it to be able to support that vision. So I'll just let you guys wait to see what Terra Torn does, but I think you guys are in for a good ride. for this Terra captain here.
Mm-hmm.
Up next, we grab Fez and Dippity. The plan was to grab Fez since round, I think, 4-ish. It pairs
Yeah.
really well with Rotom Wash. I once again want to shout out to Elliot for not grabbing it because it was literally on his radar, but he passed up on it because he knew I wanted it. So shout out to Drees as well for telling him to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But Fez is literally the only fairy type I wanted in this. A really good special wall that can just U-turn roost on opponents and spam Moonblast or Sludge Bomb. So it's pretty good in that regards, and it also gets Toxic Chain. So every time I attack, I can probably Toxic Chain maybe. So pretty good
Yeah.
special fairy that this team could use.
Yeah. It gives a grounded poison as well. I mean, grounded poisons aren't necessarily needed, but I mean, if it gives the opponent, makes them have to think twice about bringing like toxic spikes. Pairs really nicely with Godango and Chomp as this like Dragon Fairy Steel Core. And like Offline said, pairs well with Wash to give this like bulky pivot core that we're trying to build.
Yeah, and if you guys remember my Uber's team that I ended up winning with, it had the defensive pivot of Rotom Wash plus Fez, and it actually did pretty well in there. So hopefully
Yeah.
I can utilize this core once again to try and pull some shenanigans. All right, next up we got Quaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaquaqu against my greatest rules here in Draft League that I don't draft
Hmm.
ugly Pokemon. But what can you do? It's a 16-man coach, 16 coach draft, and my spinner that we were gonna draft this round, Serena, got sniped. Maki took it. She said, "I
Man,
want the Stomp Queen." So the girl boss team added another girl. Obviously it's a male on the screen because I forgot to make it a female, but you get the idea. It's named Dinah. Um,
I'm getting
Quaquaval,
sniped everywhere.
the ugly duck.
Yeah.
Um,
Football, man.
it's an ugly duck, bro. Like I Man, like I tried. Quaxley is
Hey,
so cool, bro. They ruined it. They ruined it. Even
it
Quaxwell, like
may
it's
be,
okay. But
look, it may be ugly, but the mon is good, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um, Main reason drafted it, right? Serena got sniped as the spinner.
yep,
And we need removal.
yep,
Quaquaval, granted, is not the best spinner in the world. That's a given, right? It can spin, sometimes though, right? There's
yeah.
some, times where you can easily bring it just to spin. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Also, it not only spins, but it doubles as a really good, um, like, setup piece, another pivot, right? Another pivot to pair with like Rotom Wash Fez, Torn, um, and a really good snowball mon because of Moxie, where
Yep.
it can just, even if you're running like a bulky set, it can end up winning games because of Moxie and Aqua Step as its signature move.
Yep. Like initially, we weren't gonna pick Quaquaval. It was gonna be Serena and another water type that was offensive, but I'm not gonna name it because if it's not drafted yet, like there might be a potential switch in the future if we think about it. But like Quack provides the utilities, and it's there for role compression, right? Like as Meta pointed out, it can
Yeah.
spin, it can act like a bulky pivot or just sweep. It's also a pretty decent choice user. Like some weeks I might just want to click choice banded aqua step, or some weeks I just want to choice scarf flip turn and try and get my threats in. So it's not a bad mon per se. Um, like it's not the best, but and it's ugly, but it will work on this team. So um, it is what it is. When you get sniped, you gotta come
Yeah.
up with backups, and sometimes it's ugly Pokemon, man. That's how life be. But I hope Quack doesn't take it too hard, and we can work something out. Maybe I'll gain some respect for the duck. So
You better. That
we'll
duck is
see.
goaded.
We'll see how it goes. But next up, we're gonna pick up Nanaka, the Ogerpon, and this is our ground resist for the team. Provides us with knock, spikes, U-turn, another bulky pivot that we can potentially use. Um, it's just good mon. Um, I don't know. Meta can probably talk a lot more about it, but like this mon allows positioning for the team, especially because we have things like Quaquaво, we have things like Goldango. Sometimes they might want to switch out, and Ogerpon can take a lot of hits from some of the meta games. So I think it was a decent grass type to pick up for a ground resist, and its utility.
Yeah, I mean, all the Overpawns are great, and Overpawn Teal is just included with that, right? I mean, it's a good ground resist, right? And it's also very flexible. Um, you can run, it gives us another spiker, right? So it takes some pressure off of Chomp from running spikes. Has a lot of good, tech moves, another pivot with U-turn, great braking, and it's not like, unlike the other Overpawns, this one can actually run an item, right? It's not item locked.
Yeah,
So you can run, like Scarf or, whatever, right? Sash, etc.
yeah.
Um,
And even boots at the end
also,
of the day is also pretty nice on
right.
this as well.
Yeah, and like at this point, we're kind of like, it's kind of, I mean, our team isn't top heavy, but let's kind of go point heavy, That's why
Yeah,
like we went Quackable Ogerpon here. Um, really just going heavy on points.
yeah.
Because I mean, top heavy draft is like it's a strat to do, and it can be pretty good, right? It's already like really, like the offense is really good with this draft.
Yeah, and like with this draft, it was sort of weird because like I think like most of the plans like did not exist. Like we had some idea of what we wanted to build, but like we were basically going pick by pick to try and grab the best thing that was left on the board. And it kind of ended up working out because overall, I feel like there's a lot of well-rounded cores that we have that can work very well with each other, and a lot of our mons that we drafted on this team just can take whatever role they are required to for the weeks that they're brought. So that was kind of like the ideology behind it. Like I told a lot of the people, like the coaches that I was talking to at the time during the draft, the main focus was like if I don't know what I'm picking, I'm not gonna get sniped, and it kind of ended up working out that way. Especially because like there was a lot of things I wanted that got sniped early on that I was like, all right, I'm not even gonna think about it because it's gonna get sniped anyways. Like I really wanted Meow, didn't even make it past round 4. I really wanted Meloetta, got sniped. Arena, I was looking at as a spinner, got sniped. So we tried to like just try to avoid the snipes while building a decent enough core. So Ogre Pond fit really well, and I think we're pretty happy with this. All right. Up next, we got our next Terra Captain in Shinji the Colossal. Colossal is a decent mon here. As a Terra Captain, provides us Rapid Spin, Stealth Rocks, another Hazards mon to take some pressure off of Chomp. And this Pokemon is good in terms of taking hits. So using Flame Body as its ability, trying to build up that defensive core a little bit more, and trying to like relieve some pressure off of the offensive pieces that we have that might want to act defensive some weeks. So another Pokemon that's a bulky defensive Terra. I think we have Grass, Normal, and I forget the last one. Is it Ghost?
Ghost.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Grass, Normal, and Ghost. Ghost provides us support to spin block if we're not bringing Goldango some weeks, or if Goldango is not in the position to spin block. Grass is just a decent defensive type, being another ground resist. potentially if Ogerpon is not coming that week, and normal. You'll have to wait and find out why we have normal. Um, but we got some plans
It's
for
there
that
for a
normal
reason.
time. Um, and especially with like my front office, like a Dorian, Meta, Splim, Sean, like we got some ideas, guys. We cook in this household, and hopefully you guys are excited for Terra Colossal. Even though like it might not show up as Terra for a lot of the weeks, when it does, expect good things, I would say.
Yeah, the main thing with Colossal was it was a really good like um pick to relieve pressure off the entire team, right? With access to spin, it gives us another option outside of Quack. Because, although we don't want Quack to run spin every week, right? So Colossal can. It gives us another good hazard stacker to pair next to Chomp and Ogre. Um, and it's just another good, bulky piece with Tera. Colossal is a great Pokemon. Another thing as well is like Horn does like to use Tera, but it doesn't need Tera every week, right? Um, there's some weeks where it might just do enough without Tera, and then you can pair that with Colossal, who would more want Tera that week. So yeah, and hopefully and Colossal will do a thing or two.
Yeah. And it has great abilities in Flame Body, Steam Engine, and Flash Fire, so nothing to sleep on. Even if we don't Terra it, Mon's pretty good.
Yep.
Has been useful in Gen 9 draft, so it's gonna be a fun, exciting pick. But talk about a fun, exciting pick. We got our third Terra captain in Chimecho, guys. I did it again. Shimmer, little Shimmer in LC did a thing or two, so we had to evolve her and bring her as Terra Chimecho. You guys know what I do with this mon. Cosmic Power, Stored Power is really fun to use. Thunderwave Future Sight, another lovely set that I love to use. Another knockoff Pokemon. Bulky Pivot if I wanted to, but especially a Terra Captain that you might have to prep for some weeks because we love to get nasty with Chimecho in this household. Levitate is really good for another ground immunity. And yeah, it's just Shimmer. Like, you guys know the legend. That's it.
Now, y'all might think, right? So spoilers are next. So at this point of the draft, we have 5 points left. All right. So Chimecho was a 1 pointer. You might think like, oh, why, he Terra Chimecho when he could Terra a 4 pointer? And the reason is because Chimecho is goaded. All right, that's why. Okay.
Chimecho is goated. Yeah, exactly. You get it.
That's exactly why. Right? You're gonna what's gonna happen? So I don't wait. Did you say the Terras for it?
No.
I don't remember. Okay, so it's Terra Poison, Steel, and Fairy. Just good defensive Terras with Fairy being a good offensive potentially as well.
Yep.
This Mon, like you have a lot of different things. You can choice band Healing Wish, right? You can run Blunder Policy T Wave.
Uh-huh.
You can run, I don't know, Flame Lagging Tail. Like Chimecho is probably the best Mon on this team.
It's the
overall,
carry.
right?
It's the carry. We need it. We need it.
In fact, no. All right. On a serious note, out of all the Mons on the board, Chimecho was probably one of the Mons that we were talking about the earliest. We were like, that's probably one of the best 1-pointers. We kept talking about that even at like the very start of the draft. So,
yeah, I mean, like we knew we were gonna spend heavy, right? So we had to take a look at the lower side of the board to try and see like what mons we might want to grab earlier. And Chimecho was like a really good pick at this late in the draft because people had like 2 points left, 4 points left, where they needed to fill out a couple slots, and we knew like we couldn't let it go this round, and not many 4-pointers caught our eye. So I think Chimecho, as a Terra captain, is gonna do something this season.
hopefully.
Talking
But
about
speaking of
doing
Mon,
something,
No, talk about a Mon that won't do a single thing this season. Offline, I'm cutting you off. I'm going to talk about this Mon, all right? Let me talk about how this Mon's going to do absolutely nothing this season, all right? It's a lowland Persian, okay? You might ask, why to draft a lowland Persian with your 4 points? And to answer, I still don't know. I honestly don't know.
Dorian
This
said,
wasn't my-
no, Dorian said, pick my cat. I'm like, all right. There's
That's
the
basically up.
there's the watermelon head cat. I mean, it's a dark type.
I mean,
Um,
okay, so yeah,
like,
there's some like, all right, give it the benefit of the doubt, right? As fur coat,
yep.
so it's base 60 defense that is doubled, or like the one in, I don't even know how these abilities work anymore.
So it takes
One of the
half
stats is
half
doubled.
damage from like physical moves, right? So like that base 60 will go to maybe like
Yes.
a 23, like it goes down because it's just a bad Pokemon. But like it's a parting shot user. It's fast, like gives us a higher speed here if we want to be annoying and disruptive sometimes.
Yeah.
Probably
I
will
think what
show
happened
up
was
like negative times.
Yes.
But gives us knock, gives us
I
U-turn.
think a Dorian thought like we were playing like VGC or like doubles or something, and that's why he was
Yeah,
like, let's pick Persian.
exactly. And like
We have
we can use
Technician.
quash to like let the opponent move
Yeah,
first. That's definitely how quash works, but
with Technician, right? Our 60 power moves and lower are stronger. So like we have Technician killing water with specs.
yeah, that
Um,
goes to base negative 25 instead of base negative
yep.
50.
We can
Look at this ugly cat,
what else?
bro. Yo, made
We
me.
can fake. Oh, you know what? We can fake tears because we're gonna cry when we send this thing out because it's going to do absolutely nothing.
Yup. Dude,
All right,
who
guys,
made
tell
me
me week
draft
one.
this, bro? We're dropping this.
We're bringing it week one.
Anyways,
Oh God.
so that's the team. Overall, I think we have a really decent team here. Goldango Chomp Weavile is a really top heavy core there. Works pretty well, especially paired with Tera, Tera, Colossal, and Chimecho even. If opponents don't prep for Chimecho some weeks or forget to, and it shows up, it might be GG's. It does pretty well with setup, sweeps, and whatnot. And we also have like Quack that we picked up later in the draft, so opponents might not even think about prepping for it, and it might do some damage. So I think I'm pretty happy with this team, knowing the place that we got to make our picks. Like it was pretty late in the draft, and like sure there were some snipes, but overall I think I'm pretty happy with what we drafted.
Yeah, I can't believe all this. I can't believe Pup, Prep, and Maki sniped you.
It's like my
Like,
friends
that's crazy.
just taking a dagger and be like, "Kaching," you know, like
And because they sniped you, we're left with a Alolan Persian.
yeah, for real,
That's
man.
guys. Put in the comment section. What's your favorite Pokemon on this draft? And
Yeah.
if you say Alolan Persian, you're getting deleted from existence.
Yeah, let us know. What do you guys think about this? And some spam is trying to call my phone. Anyways,
That's
yeah,
me.
that is you. But yeah, let us know what the nickname theme is. If anybody guesses it, I'm gonna be surprised. But Meta and I loved trying to make this nickname theme fit. I think we put more thought into making the nickname theme fit than freaking drafting this theme. So it was pretty fun. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's a lot of
If y'all know the nickname theme, by the way, let us know.
yeah.
It's fire.
Like it's a bunch of Japanese names, so you can start with anime. There's your hint, wink, wink. But that is all we got for today. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Subscribe to keep in touch. A lot more draft content coming your way, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, offline squad.
See ya.